guys, going to be a very interesting video here for all you Buford-Pusser researchers. This is going to be called Expert Witnesses. Guys, I believe you're going to find this video enlightening. I really do. I believe this is going to prove the basis of what this press conference was all about what these reports were all about. I think this video right here may very well be my last, because there's no reason to follow it through. If this doesn't prove what I've been saying, then I don't know that anybody can prove it to you any better. I'm sorry, I just don't. I'm not bragging. That's not a brag. That's just saying that I'm going to show you in black and white. I'm going to show you what this comes down to. We've already determined. Look behind Mr. Davis's head there. You can't read it, but when the people in that audience can, and when they change places, you can. But that says Mark Davison, District Attorney General Davison, Mark Davison. In front of that podium he's in front of, it says Mark Davison. In fact, there's a video. I'm sorry I didn't get it uploaded. I meant to. But where one of his assistants comes out before he ever shows up, and they come out there and they spell Mr. Davis's name. They spell Mr. Rauch's name. They want everyone to know the correct spelling of these fellas' name. I'm going to show you in a few minutes the TBI's Facebook page, and I'm going to show you Mark Davison's Facebook page, because while that lady's out there, she also says, if you want to, it's been streamed live on Mark Davison's page, Facebook page, and on the TBI's Facebook page, this press conference. Guys, since when does professional people, professional law enforcement, professional prosecutors stream live on a Facebook page anything to do with the criminal investigation or criminal prosecution? Since when? That is so unethical, in my opinion. That's a telltale sign that this was for nothing more than 15 minutes of fame. Now, I'm going to show you. Listen, you've got to sit through about a 4-minute video here. I'm going to try not to interrupt, but more than likely I will. But when I interrupt, I want to point something out, because I'm going to show you proof in a minute as to what I'm saying. I'm going to show you proof. So just hang in there. Stand by.
The file is voluminous, over 1,000 pages, and employed modern investigative techniques and forensic science unavailable in 1967. It is thorough and exhaustive, and the scope and breadth of it exceeds our ability to discuss it in detail today. That is one reason we are making this a public record. Another reason is that Buford-Pusser's account of the events of August 12, 1967 spawned the movie Walking Tall in 1973, several sequels, a 2004 remake, and several books.
And that, my friends, is the purpose for this press conference. Several movies, several remakes, several books, and he's got all that fame, fortune, and name notoriety, and daggone it if we don't want some of it. That's what it comes down to.
This case and those retellings generated substantial public interest and placed Pauline's murder in an historical but inaccurate posture.
Historical. This case, this press conference just went down in history. He is making history as he's speaking right there.
That history must be measured against the facts in plain view.
Let's see if he shows us the facts. I know I've done this before, guys, but just always remember, he's going to show us facts. Remember? Facts. Why then do we end up with opines? If he's going to show us facts, why does he tell us in a minute that Dr. Revelle opines?
Justice for Pauline has been a long time coming. and thanks to all the hard work put in by so many, we're
Justice for Pauline, a title given to this in books and podcast YouTube videos by Mike Elam and Oakley Dean Baldwin. Justice for Pauline. That's not a slogan that the TBI came up with. That is book writers that's making money off selling books, giving tours, and having podcasts. Justice for Pauline. How about justice for Buford? How about justice for Pauline for accusing her husband of doing the unthinkable to her? How about justice for the Pusser family?
finally able to announce to Pauline's surviving family and to the public that we believe we are as close as possible to justice.
Guys, they tell me, I don't know how true it is. Now listen, this video here is going to be speculative. It's going to be alleged. It's going to be my opinion. It is going to be all of those things, and I'll put a disclaimer at the end. But, you know, I've determined that since Mr. Davison, Mr. Roush, all these so-called expert witnesses can give their opinions and what they think and what they feel. And I said in one of the videos we did that that's a dangerous precedent that Mr. Davison here is setting for our criminal justice system. It's dangerous that you can go out with no more than an opinion and destroy somebody's reputation or their name. But, however, since they want to do this, Mr. Davison, Mr. Roush, Dr. Ravel, all these so-called expert witnesses, since they want to do that, I'm going to go out on a limb here with them. I'm going to start doing the same thing. I will use my disclaimer and I will say it's my opinion. But I opine that I have heard through many people that the brother that they refer to didn't even get along with Pauline. So what would be nice to show is a video, because we had movie cameras back in the 60s and 70s. We had tape recorders. Show us a love letter from that loving sister to her loving brother, or show us a video of that loving sister hugging and joking and family reunion or family get-togethers. We've all got them from the 60s. They're out there. Every family in the 60s had movie cameras. They were Super 8, but we had them. Show us one video clip before she passed away, all the way up to 67. One video clip where they're together and she's loving on them, because we have been told that him and her did not get along. And mainly because he didn't get along with Buford. Let's go ahead.
The case file reveals inconsistencies in Buford Pusser's statements.
Guys, once again, last thing I'm going to say is Buford Pusser, to this date, we have never seen a statement where Buford Pusser has signed and dated and it's been witnessed as his signature, or a handwriting expert has distinguished a signature as being that of Buford Pusser. We have never seen that. So when they say we compare to Buford Pusser's statement or these inconsistencies in his statement, that the only statement we have ever seen is a statement written by someone else, probably a TBI agent that didn't get along or didn't like Buford Pusser. Probably the person who started the rumors back in the 60s to this. We don't know who it was. I don't. But this statement is wrote as a third person. Third person wrote this statement. They could have wrote down that Buford Pusser said he went to the moon and came back, and it would be in that statement. And then we could disagree with that today because we know that he didn't. But they could have wrote that in that statement for the inconsistencies that it's got. You go by what Buford Pusser says in his TV interviews, in his radio interviews, by his own voice. Or you show us a statement that Buford Pusser signed and accredited as being the truth. Other than that, all you're doing is saying that Buford Pusser's statements on TV and radio is inconsistent with what somebody else wrote as Buford Pusser's statement. As a prosecutor, I am appalled. Guys, I am not even that smart of a person. And this is so appalling. It should be appalling to everybody that this man has ever prosecuted or ever going to prosecute. This is shameful for a prosecutor and the director of a law enforcement agency to have done what they done. Just wait, there's more coming.
To law enforcement and others about Pauline's murder, including physical, medical, forensic, ballistic, and reenactment evidence that
reenactment evidence that Mike Elam did. Reenactment that Mike Elam did.
His version of events. I'll give you several examples. Dr. Michael Revelle, emergency medicine physician and medical examiner.
Let's stop it right there. I'm going to show you. I like to show proof, so I'm going to show you, after we get done with this video, some proof. Now, he says Dr. Michael Revelle, and I could be wrong here. All I can show you or tell you is what I find out. He says he's a medical examiner. All we can find out is that he's a medical physician, a medical doctor, who's also in charge of the rescue squad, the EMS unit or something there in Jackson. He's a physician at the Jackson Hospital in Tennessee, if we have the right Dr. Revelle. I believe it is. I believe it is. If it's not, please correct us and we'll correct it on our video when we show you what we found. Or you can go while we're watching this video and Google Dr. Michael Revelle, and you'll find out that he's a physician. This one here is, at least, Jackson Hospital there in Tennessee. Now, I looked all through his Lincoln pages, all through his pages that I could find. I could not find anywhere where he is a certified, bona fide medical examiner. That doesn't mean that he's not. Very possibly could be. Maybe the record's not been updated. But up to this date, I could not find where he's a medical examiner. Now, what does that have to do with anything? He's a physician. Okay, he's a physician. But Mr. Davison went on to throw in there that he's also a medical examiner, which would make you think that you can give him more credibility, and you could as a medical examiner, than just a regular physician. But until we see some proof, as of right now, all we know is he's a medical doctor. Now, there's more. There's a lot more to Dr. Michael Revelle when we get to it here, and we'll show you when we come to his papers. But let's go ahead and see what he says here.
Opines with a reasonable degree of medical certainty based on crime scene photographs, post-mortem photographs, the notes of the then medical examiner, Dr. Peeler, the statement of Sheriff Pusser.
Guys, Dr. Peeler said back then that Buford Pusser was shot twice in the jaw. Twice. Maybe 3 times, he said. That's what Dr. Peeler said. I'm anxious to see if that's going to be in this 1,000-page report or if that's redacted or no longer there. Now, he's getting ready to talk about Buford Pusser's statement again. Do you see how many times Buford Pusser's statement comes up, the inconsistencies? But yet, there's nothing in the background. They've got a TV screen there that they could show what he's talking about. Here's Buford Pusser's statement. Oh, yeah, here's his signature at the bottom. Wouldn't that be nice to see things like that instead of having to wait on a report, that he can just speak this into history?
And his then chief deputy and Sheriff Buford Pusser's own statements that events did not occur as stated by Buford Pusser, and that Pauline Pusser was more likely than not shot outside the vehicle and then placed.
That's what Dr. Revelle, Michael Revelle,
inside the vehicle. Dr. Revelle opines that cranial trauma suffered by Pauline Pusser, depicted in crime scene photographs, does not match.
Dr. Revelle opines that what he saw in photographs. Now, guys, do you realize that the autopsy, the only person I have respect for in this whole thing is the person that gave that autopsy, because I think they tried. I think they could have put that there's 2 confirmed bullet holes. I think they could have put, but they went ahead and put possible, multiple, and so forth. Do you realize that that person that was there that did the autopsy was there at the scene and didn't put this here, but yet he says Dr. Michael Rovell opines that cranial damage and so forth, talking and about the nose. Why is that not in the autopsy report? Why did Michael Rovell not attend the autopsy? Why did he have to look at photographs? Please, when I'm done with this video, if you got any questions, because I overspeak these guys, rewind your tape and listen to the statement he just made about he looked at photographs and he could tell. Why would he look at photographs when he could have attended the autopsy itself and been there firsthand? Photographs don't do it, guys.
Interior crime scene photographs of the vehicle. Dr. Rovell.
He had to look at photographs of the vehicle. He had to look at photographs. The reason why is the vehicle is no longer here. He can't look at the evidence. The evidence to look at and to judge against is no longer here. He's comparing apples to oranges. He's looking at photographs rather than the real thing, the vehicle.
Opines that blood spatter on the hood outside of the vehicle contradicts Buford Pusser's statements.
Now that's what we want to see, guys, because you're going to hear some of these experts, these so-called experts, you're going to see their paperwork here at the end, but you're going to see that these people opines and these people says this and that, and they compare photographs and they reset up blood splatters but there's no vehicle there. There's no evidence to compare it to. This is nothing more than their opinions. I would love to see Congress or Senate or somewhere there in Tennessee hold hearings. If this man is so serious and they've got this much evidence, put these two guys right here on the hot seat. Let them sit there and give their statements instead of saying, well, look at the case file. No, we don't want to look at the case file. We want you to look at these senators and congressmen, legislators. We want you to look at them in the face and tell them what you're trying to tell the American people at a press conference, where when it gets hot, you just say, okay, that's all. We'll walk off. Be sure and look at the file. This is a sham, guys. And if people in Tennessee don't see it and recognize it, this is wrong. Pure, totally wrong. You don't compare a picture to the real evidence and say, well, it doesn't match up, or the interior of the vehicle doesn't. How do you know the interior? I know I sound rough. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I've done backslid and everything else. I'm telling you, this is the most unjust thing that somebody could do to a dead man. It really is. It's just, hey, let's go on. No.
Dr. Rovell opines that the gunshot wound to Buford Pusser's cheek was a close contact wound, not long range, as Buford Pusser described, and likely self-inflicted.
See, guys, the pictures that I've seen, I'm no expert. I'm no pathologist. I'm not a medical examiner. And you know, I didn't even stay at a Holiday Inn, but I didn't see no powder. See, that's what you're doing looking at photographs, because we got photographs. I looked at the same photographs that he's looked at. I didn't see no powder. I didn't see no close contact wound. Sheila didn't see that. Sheila's pretty familiar with things. Neither one of us. We have put it at every angle. We have looked at them every way we can. We have closed in. We have closed out. We do not see gunpowder residue. We've shot guns all of our lives. We've done different tests in the shooting range. We do not see it. Why does that photograph, or those photographs, why does he see gunpowder residue and we don't see gunpowder residue? We might explain that to you at the end of this. We might have an explanation for that. If it's true, if what we've got to show you is correct, we may have an explanation as to why somebody might see something that somebody else wants you to see.
Kansas Bureau of Investigation Special Agent in Charge Corey Latham and National Forensic Academy Training Specialist Jason Jones conducted 3 series of bloodstain pattern analysis tests to replicate the bloodstain patterns on the hood of Pusser's vehicle, and concluded that the bloodstain patterns were inconsistent with Buford Pusser's statements and indicated that.
How do you replicate something that's not there? How do you replicate something when the car hood and the car interior is not there? I'm going to show you something in a minute, guys. Do you reckon these expert witnesses, reckon why the FBI and the ATF were not called in for ballistics and to help with the criminal investigation? Reckon why? Because the FBI may not have a political pull either way. They may not want it to, they don't care. Maybe they're just going to say, hey, here's the evidence, here's what it shows, and it don't show nothing. But now let's say, we've got these guys' names, we've done some research, you'll see them here in a minute. Let's just say if you've got an organization or an association or a corporation that you now give classes, you make money from your opinion. There's even an ad that says if you're not satisfied with the outcome, we'll give you a refund. Wow. You ever seen that movie when in the 50s or 60s, you guys out there, Gun for Hire? Have gun, will travel. Have gun, will travel. Nowadays, that's a lot like a lot of expert witnesses. They get qualified and certified as expert witnesses, and that they have this title, have title, will travel. Have title will give you the results that you, let me put this in my opinion, okay? This is Fred McCoy's opinion. Some people that has those titles, some people as expert is no more than have expert title, will travel for the right price. Will give results for the right price. What did they compare the blood spatter? 3 blood splatter tests to what? This is more people. The doctor, Corey, Jason, they need to appear before some kind of a board. Surely Tennessee has some kind of accountability for their law enforcement, for their prosecutors, for their expert witnesses. Surely there's some kind of accountability, because you're going to see here in a minute that Jason, Corey, even I believe if it's the right doctor, have expert witness cards. They will travel around. If you're an attorney or you're somebody that needs something investigated or looked at, or you need their opinion on something, call them up, pay their fee, and they'll testify for you. You're going to see. Stay tuned. I don't think you could get nobody to turn out this video right now. I don't believe I could get you to turn it off, because I'm going to show you some proof, guys.
Someone was injured both outside and inside the vehicle.
And how is that? How is that? Going to show you. You know the only way it shows? Blood on the hood. Somebody's injured outside and inside the vehicle. Guess who that was? That was Buford Pusser. You didn't see no 6'6", grown 300-pound man crawling across the seat of his car with his wife in it. You didn't see that. That man got out of his driver's side door and went around his vehicle to check on Pauline. They shot him again outside of his vehicle. That's where they found his jawbone, outside of his vehicle. That's where the blood splatter come from when he's running back to the driver's side to get back in to drive off. That is Buford Pusser's blood. Yes, there's an injury on the outside and inside. He wants to say that Dr. Revelle opines, it's Dr. Revelle's opinion that Pauline was shot outside of the vehicle and then put back in. Guys, this is the most unbelievable thing, when the man could have blowed her head off at the house and put her gun in her hand and put her a wine cooler down beside of her and said, she got depressed and drunk and killed herself. Guys, she could have taken an overdose. Guys, he's too smart a man. People in law enforcement know this stuff. People in law enforcement do this stuff. This is the most made-up story you've ever heard, to try to prove Buford Pusser set this up when it was so easy for him as the sheriff to done something so easy. This is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. If they only knew.
Ballistics expert Dr. Eric Warren states in his report that the physical evidence in the case does not support Buford Pusser's version of events, and instead is indicative of a staged crime.
A staged crime scene, a staged place, a staged event. What did he compare those bullet holes to, guys? What vehicle did he compare the bullet hose to? See, this is your expert witnesses. This is your gun for hire. This is your testimony for hire. Because what did he, and he knows that there's never going to be a court case unless we can get some family members, some grandson or granddaughter. There's also a grandson out there. Unless Michael had a son, at least one that I know of. So even though Dewana has a daughter, Michael, her stepbrother, also has a son. Eric Vance. He's got his daddy's name. He's got Pete. Roman Pete Vance was his dad's name, but Buford Pusser raised him. Buford Pusser raised him from a child. That's who he more than likely considers his dad. That's who raised him. May not be his dad or his father, but he raised him as one. If we can ever get some of these people to file suits on these people and get this in the court, you're going to see some testimony change. You're going to see these expert witnesses, because now instead of just putting it in a one-page report and stating this, oh, it was staged. Oh, really? You've got that? Yeah, I've got at least one person that says it was staged. Really? We're going to destroy a man's reputation over one person's testimony that it looks like it's staged to him, and the bullets don't look like they was placed according to Buford's statement. Buford doesn't have a statement as far as we know. We've never seen a statement from Buford Pusser. We cannot emphasize that enough. The statement that we've seen is written third party. A third party statement?
Scene. Also, the cartridge locations, bullet trajectories, and bloodstain pattern on the hood are incorrect.
Cartridge locations. Cartridge locations? You've got a man that says that he was a young boy at the time. He's in some of those pictures. Dennis Hathcock says he followed Buford Pusser around half the night. That's his aunt. Louise Hathcock was his aunt that was killed the year before. Isn't that funny that Dennis Hathcock says he was following Buford Pusser around that night? That his wife gets killed less than a year after Louise Hathcock was killed by Buford Pusser? And now Buford Pusser is shot and his wife is killed, and there's a person now that says, oh, we followed him around half the night. We followed him everywhere we went. We was going to see if we could see what he was getting into. And then he no more gets in, says he got in that morning and went to bed, and they woke him up and said, hey, Buford's dead. Really? You just got in? And now you find out. And then you say you return to the scene? You go out there on your motorcycle? There's cops there, but he happens to find, he knows where to go right to. He found the second shooting scene. He knew exactly where to go and found these casings on the road. He didn't only find casings, he found part of Pauline Pusser's head laying in the ditch. TBI? Oh, I'll tell you what, you couldn't give me a TBI badge. I hope there's not a, Tina, if there's a TBI badge in Buford Pusser's museum, if I was you guys, I would remove it because it doesn't deserve to be there. This is the most outrageous agency and prosecutor I've ever seen. I'm sorry, guys. I just have to say it. I have to say it because the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in your so-called expert witnesses' reports and testimony, hopefully that comes up, because this is nothing more than opinions. This is nothing
consistent with Buford Pusser's statements. The autopsy of Pauline revealed a healing.
I want you to listen, because that's all you just now heard it. Reveals a healing nasal. It's not a healing. It's not a healing. Don't let that word fool you. It is healed, if it's even there. I have to believe that it's there because I trust this medical examiner. The way the rest of the report reads, they didn't voluntarily enclose any helpful information, but there's nothing there that says that anything was trying to smooth over. So, but he says a healing, it's healed. It's already been healed. This has happened years ago.
Prior to death, nasal fracture on the right side of her nose, most commonly caused by interpersonal trauma.
Now, he's getting ready to go to the next topic. He's getting ready to go on. He's done past the autopsy. Now, in a minute, you'll hear Roush, and he says there's 5 things, and he counts up 1, 2, 3, and he gets to the autopsy, and he skips it and goes to 4. He says the autopsy, and then he don't even elaborate. He just goes to 4. Isn't it something, guys, the most important piece of evidence they thought they had, and the most notoriety that they got, most attention they got, was when they dug poor old Pauline Pusser out of the grave. When they dug her up, they got all this attention. They were going to get all this evidence, defensive wounds, bruises, all these broken teeth, all this jaw, all these domestic violence abuse things. And guess what? See if you can find that in the autopsy report. See if you can find that. There's nothing. They found a fractured nose from years ago, healed. It's not something that just happened, healed. But don't worry about that. Skip that, because right now he's getting ready to go to a different topic. But my question would be an autopsy. He's talking about an autopsy, and the only thing he's got to go on is a fractured nose. Guys, where's the gun? Where's the bullet? Where's the fragments? Where's anything at all that he can tell us how this autopsy helped? How in the world did this autopsy help with their investigation that this is the gun and so forth? Not one bit, not one iota. And that's why Mr. Roush, he skips it completely. He just goes from 3 to 5, more or less, or 4. He goes from 2 to 4, because 3 was the autopsy. He just says autopsy, and then he goes, and number 4, he skips it all together. All Mr. Davison here can talk about is a broke nose that could have happened. She had an abusive husband. That's why she left her first husband. He was abusive. He was so abusive, they said that he was responsible for the retardation of one of her children that she had. Now, I don't know all this. Again, I'm telling you what we've been told, what we've heard, but I know there's family members out there that's still alive. Isn't it funny that you've never seen one of the family members? Have you ever seen the granddaughter? Have you ever seen the grandson? Did Mike tell his grandson, oh, my stepdad, Buford, he was abusive. He was abusive toward my mother. He was abusive toward us. Do you think that wouldn't come out from family members by now? And if it hasn't, it needs to. If it's the truth, we're not taking one side or the other. But we've never seen Mike's son, Eric Vance, come out and say, yeah, my dad said that Buford beat the heck out of him. My dad said Buford beat the heck out of Pauline, his mother. Don't you think a child would remember that? Don't you think that he would know?
Our office, after review of the case file, believes that the TBI has produced evidence sufficient to create probable cause, meaning more likely than not, that would allow us, if he were alive today, to present an indictment to the McNairy County Grand Jury for their consideration against Buford Pusser for the murder of his wife, Pauline.
He just stole every bit of the dignity, every bit of the character, honesty, anything that Buford Pusser ever had in his life. Anything that Buford Pusser ever worked for as a human being, as a sheriff, he just stole it. This man's a prosecutor. He's worked all of his life to get that title and to get that attention. Imagine somebody coming up in 5 years, 10 years, in 58 years, and telling his grandchildren or great-grandchildren what a...
But obviously cannot happen.
That's all of that one, guys. Now, I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try to go to some different things because I want to show you something. And I don't know how it's going to work out. First of all, have you ever seen, there's Mark Davison's Facebook page. Now, he took it down. He did have this news conference that he was in, that he was the head honcho in. He did have that on his Facebook page, and the lady at the beginning there, you can go watch the whole news article. I'll give it to you here in a minute. And you can see where she stands up there before Mark Davison comes out, because she wants to make sure that everybody knows how to spell his name and that he's got a Facebook page, and this will be broadcast live on it. We did a video on it a while back, and since then it's been taken off his Facebook page, because how professional is it for a prosecutor to conduct his legal prosecution, his legal business on his personal Facebook page? Oh, wait a minute. That's right. We want the attention. What better place to get it than X and Facebook page? If you guys would, we don't have an account on well, I've got one, but I never use it from years ago. But anybody is welcome to use anything in our videos, anything that we broadcast on either channel. You're welcome to use to put on X or Facebook or anything else. We do not care. This is not about clicks to us. This is not about revenue or YouTube. It's not about, this is what you call real justice for Buford Pusser, Pauline Pusser, Dewana Pusser, Carl Pusser, Helen Pusser. This is justice for the Pusser family name. There's Mike's page, or Mark's page rather. Let's come back to reveal. Let's come back. Here is the TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. This is their page, guys. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has the press conference live with their illustrious director, David Roush. There's his name. Today, TBI Director David Roush will join District Attorney General Mark Davison to discuss new developments. Not for the Sebastian Rogers case, not for the Summer Wells case. We're going to discuss a case 58 years ago. We can't solve one from a year ago, but let me go to something else here. Let's go to Dr. Revelle. Now, guys, please, if I've got the wrong person, all you got to do is let me know, and I'll take it down, apologize, and make a correction, and that's all I can do. But Dr. Michael Allen Revelle, MD, Emergency Medicine. Now, I've got some more down through here somewhere on him, if I ain't mistaken. Well, there's something I've got on him, but Michael Revelle, MD, this was 2017, it says. Michael Revelle, MD, is practicing emergency medicine in Jackson, Tennessee. Dr. Revelle graduated from the University of Tennessee Health Science Center College of Medicine in 1999. Has been practicing for 17 years. Currently practice at Jackson Madison County General Hospital. Currently serves as EMS and medical director of Haywood and Madison County EMS. Now, I don't know how old that is. Again, I'm hoping this is the right Dr. Revelle. I couldn't find two Dr. Revelles, Michael Revelle. I couldn't find two of them. So I'm hoping this is the correct one. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Now, here's the important part. If this is the right Michael Allen Revelle, and I can't, can you guys see that? Here you go. Look up in the top left-hand corner. If this is correct, expert witness profiler. Now, I don't know. Again, I'm going to make these statements in question form because I don't know. I'm not sure. So if anybody out there can help me, and I know there's other police officers. I know there's several attorneys that follow us now because they're aggravated with this case. But it says Michael Allen Revelle, Emergency Medical Medicine, Family Medicine, Jackson, Tennessee. Look, can you all see what it says there? If you're not satisfied, we don't expect you to pay. That's our commitment and your guarantee. Simply ask for a refund. Expert details. Dr. Michael Allen Reveal, MD, also known as Mike Reveal, is an emergency medicine physician from Tennessee. He has a physician's license from the state of Tennessee and is certified by the Medical Board of Family Medicine. Currently, Dr. Reveal is an emergency physician for West Tennessee Healthcare. Guys, I'll tell you what, if this is him, if he's a medical doctor and he's also a professional witness, advertising as a professional witness for hire, that's sad. In my opinion, I'm allowed my opinion, but it's saying there that he's an expert witness. Now, that's what it says on the internet. We know, guys, everybody can't go by the internet. But also there's a lot of private investigators, a lot of police officers, a lot of attorneys, detectives that work for detectives, that work for the attorney, rather, as detectives. See what you can find out, guys. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there to you. Take it and run with it. If I'm wrong, please correct me. If you're not satisfied, we don't expect you to pay. Do you really think that you're going to send Dr. Reveal? If this is, let's assume that I'm correct. Do you think that you're going to send Dr. Reveal a referral and say, Dr. Reveal, please look at these photos. Please look at this statement. The statement's written by a third party. The statement's written by somebody else. But compare these photos to this car. Compare the blood splatter to the car through the photos. We don't have the car no more. We don't have nothing for you to look at. And look at this and see what your opinion is. Now, what we're thinking, Doc, is we're thinking that Buford Pusser's probably killed his wife. He might have killed her outside of his car, moved her in because there's blood all over the outside. And we're thinking that he probably shot himself in the jaw. We're thinking that, really? And you guys wonder why I get a little bit frustrated. If this is the same Dr. Reveal, if it's not, I apologize. And I'll make a change. And like I said, everybody can sue me. Guys, we don't have a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out. Do you think I'd really get on here and talk the way I do if I was Yes, I would. Yeah, any of you that knows me knows that I would. If I had $1 million in the bank, and I wouldn't change a thing about what I say on these videos. That's how much I believe in our research, and I believe in when we run across something like this that we can't prove one way or the other. Again, we didn't find two Dr. Michael Allen Reveals. This is the only one that we found. And so we think this is the correct one. If it's not, we apologize and correct us so we'll know that it's not the same one. But isn't it funny that the TBI, instead of going to the FBI, instead of going to the ATF, they went to a doctor? Let's say this advertisement here, let's assume that it's not the real Dr. Opines Reveal. Let's say that it's not. This is another Dr. Allen Reveal. He's up for hire. This doctor is up for hire according to this ad, because it says expert witness profiler. What does that mean? I don't know. It's got it there. It's on the internet. Does that mean he's an expert witness? Does that mean he's advertising as an expert witness? Does that mean that he's available? Look at that certificate of approval there. Money back, 100% guaranteed. If you're not satisfied with the review that this person gives you on a medical review, he'd give your money back to you. So if the TBI sent him, or Mr. Davis sent him a report, and they're leaning a certain way, is he going to go the opposite? Because all they got to do is ask for their money back. Did he even charge? On a case like this, would you even charge the TBI? If you have a business that you can go down the road and advertise, say, yep, that was me. I was the one that was involved in the Buford Pusser case. You better believe it. Would that be worth bragging rights? Would that be worth advertisement down the road? Shucks, I'll throw this in for free. I'll give you a report to you. Ain't no charge. That's me, guys. I'm speculating. I'm opining, if that's how you would say it. I don't know that much about that word, so let's go on to the next one, guys. Let's see what else we got. Corey Latham. He says Corey Latham with the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. Corey Latham, special agent. Corey Latham with the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. Let me bring that up where you can see it, and then I'll go to another one. You can Google. It shows up real fast, guys. If this is the real Corey Latham, that's what Mark Davison said. He said, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, Corey Latham, special agent. That's what I Googled, and this is what come up. So let's see what we can find out about Mr. Latham. I'm not going to talk about people's credentials. I don't know anything about credentials. These guys may put my credentials to shame. In my current position as special agent in charge of Kansas City Bureau of Investigation, I am responsible for investigative operations of I am one of approximately 60 people in the United States who hold a certification in blood stain pattern analysis. Guys, that is very impressive. One of 60 people in the United States, that is very impressive. I'll tell you where there's probably some more at, would probably be the FBI, which would have been a free service to the TBI, because I don't think nobody out there holds any more credentials than the people that's in the FBI. They make sure theirs is top notch. But approximately 60 people in the United States hold a certification in blood stain pattern analysis. Where does it say where he holds that at? Kansas Division of International Association Identification and Association, Kansas Division. See, that could be his own company, guys. That could be through his certification. He may be, I'm going to show you something else here in a minute why I'm saying that. So just because you read that he holds one of approximately 60 people in the United States who holds a certification in blood stain analyzation. Who's he hold that certification with? Who gave him that certification that he's one of 60? Is it up above there where it says the Kansas City? He says he's the past president of both the Kansas Division of International Association for Identification and Association. So if he's the past president of this organization, let's see who this organization is. Let's see if we can find out what this organization is all about. Co-owner, Latham Forensics. Oh, wait a minute, guys. Oh, wait. He's got his own company. He's co-owner of Latham's Forensics. Is an educational and consulting firm that provides professional services in several areas ranging from crime scene management and reconstruction to blood stain pattern, shooting incident, reconstruction, and latent prints. There's his website, laytonforensics.com. Well, okay, that would explain it. That's what you might call expert witness for hire. Expert witness for hire, because who can look at a photograph and tell that it's outside and moved inside? Who can look at a photograph with no vehicle and tell all this stuff? Impressive. Another, have title, will travel. Have title. So now if that's the correct doctor, we've got the doctor that's for hire. Now there was Latham's. Now we're going to go to Jason. That was Corey Latham. Here's Jason Jones. Jason Jones, training specialist, Law Enforcement Innovation Center. Oh, wait a minute. Jason Jones, he's a training specialist. He's got who's he work for here? Or does he own the company too? Jason Jones is a training specialist for the National Forensic Academy. Brings 25 years. He was Georgia University in Rome, Georgia. Before joining LEIC, this guy here goes around and puts on seminars. This guy here is a member of this National Forensic Law Enforcement Innovation Center. Well, you know the sad thing about this, guys, I'm going to tell you the sad thing about this is that so far the doctor Well, the Kansas City guy is not. Corey's not. But so far, the doctor and Jason Jones are both from Tennessee. That's their state's hero. That's what Tennessee, of all the things that Tennessee's been known for years, Buford Pusser was it. And they have taken that away. Let me see if I can get that in there, guys. I don't know if that's in there or not. Is that incredible? 2 of the citizens of Tennessee for hire and either for reputation, so they'll get referrals now, either for reputation or for money, for fees. They do this for fee. They don't give you these expert opinions for free. They charge you. They may have gave this one on Buford Pusser for free because they're going to reap that in. I hope they don't. I really do. I hope they don't. I think a good person in court could. Anyway, here's his card. Have a need for an expert? Have questions about an official forensic report? Think you may need an additional testing? We would love to hear from you about your case and needs. Get in touch with us. Fill out the form. I'm not sure if this is his or if this is Corey's. This is from somebody. This is from one of your experts. Let's just put it like that. How can we serve you? You get up here where it says, we would love to hear from you about your case and needs. See, that's a word that would stand out to a defense attorney, to a defense lawyer. Needs. I've got a client here that he's charged with murder, and we're trying to show that the blood where it was at over here, he couldn't have been there because he was in a, oh, no problem. Let me look at it. Let me look at it. I'll be a witness for you. $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour, $2,500 an hour. I don't know. Look what expert witnesses go for nowadays. SEP, Forensic Consultants, Truth and Justice. Boy, they fit right in with old Elam there. Truth. And these people definitely have an agenda. If these guys are not giving you an opinion, they don't get paid. And if they give you an opinion you don't like, are you ever going to call them again? Guys, I'm old. I speak it like it is. This is my opinion. This is my opinion I'm giving. But I'll speak it because I've got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. I've got all kinds of issues. So, do they have an agenda? Truth and justice through forensics. Well, I don't know what kind of truth and justice you got through forensics on that test because that just does not, there's nothing to compare. Corey, Jason, Doc, there's nothing to compare what your guys' report says. There's nothing to compare it to. You didn't have a car to look at. How can you sit there and truthfully, I would love for somebody between the two, the TBI director, the prosecutor, and these 3 here, put them under oath and put them in some kind of a hearing and let them explain in front of real medical doctors, in front of real medical examiners, in front of real forensic people, in front of real blood splatter people, in front of real ballistics people from the U.S. government, from the FBI, ATF, but not only that, from people that we can hire, from other professionals that also give expert testimony. Let's hire some other experts in the field and let's let them look at the same photographs that you guys looked at and read the same third-party report and let's see what they come up with. Because now we're paying them. If we're paying them, if somebody else is paying them, let's see what their report says on our behalf. Let's see if it agrees with your report or if it says the opposite. I have a feeling it's going to say the opposite. In 40 years, I've sat in on many cases, been involved in many cases. Expert witness, guys, is expert witness. Hey, guys, I'm having to make an addition here. I showed a thing a while ago where it said for hire or something, the SEP thing. And what that's associated with, there's actually 4. There's the doctor, there's Jason, there's Corey, and there's also a Dr. Warren, Eric Warren, a doctor. So he must have a PhD, I imagine. And he works for this company, or that is his company, SEP. where they are forensic consultants. And that's what they do, is consult, and they're there for, just like the other experts, they're there for hire to give you, they'll look at your, whatever you've got, and they'll give you an assessment of it, evidently. Now, let's go to the next page, which is coming up here. And what that is, I want you to look at the areas of expertise there that it talks about. Areas of expertise: firearms identification, crime scene reconstruction, trajectory analysis, serial number restoration, distance determination, firearms design, and functionality. Guys, where does it say there? If I'm not mistaken, and again, I always leave that open. I make mistakes, and if I'm mistaken, please correct me. But where does it say there that he can estimate, in his opinion, that something happened outside and moved in? Or I think this is one also that said that it was staged, a staged scene. Now I want to go on down here and let's go to the next page, because the next page says, if you'll read the bottom part of it there, he served as an instructor at the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy. Well, the TBI, Crime Scene Processing School, and the Basic Criminal Investigator School at the THP. I imagine that's Tennessee Highway Patrol Academy. In addition, Dr. Warren is recognized for his leadership abilities. Guys, Dr. Warren is also an expert witness. Dr. Warren also joins with the other three gentlemen that I have named earlier. This is where the TBI, this is where Mr. Davison got his expert reports from. This guy used to work for Mr. Roush or with Mr. Roush or something in that area, because he was with the TBI. Imagine that. Imagine an investigator. Now, we didn't go to the FBI. We didn't go to the ATF. We went to our own organization. But yet, in Mr. Davison or Mr. Roush's testimony, one of them, in their statement there at the press conference, they pride themselves on going outside of their agency. They went to other agencies, other people, and got their expert analysis. All they had to do, guys, was call the FBI. All they had to do was call the ATF. Guys, in closing this video, as we're nearing the end, I want to make one thing clear. These guys, from looking at their credentials, they, no doubt, they have some knowledge and expertise in the areas that they're saying that they are experts in. I'm not trying to take that away from anybody. I'm not trying to slander. I'm not trying to say anything at all against these guys' credentials. My complaint, my concern is you cannot, and I know that there's other experts out there, there's other attorneys, there's other people that will back up what I'm saying. You cannot get the same satisfaction, the same evidence from a photograph that you can get from looking at the real evidence, the real piece of the real car. Let's just use the car. You cannot look at a photograph and judge the interior of what happened. You cannot look at a photograph and tell you what looking at the real vehicle, the real thing would tell you. So once again, I respect these guys' positions. I respect their opinions. But that's what it is. It's their opinion, because they certainly didn't take their writings, the outcome of their reports from looking at the evidence, because the car has been destroyed. There's no evidence to look at. So short of that, that's all I got. Expert witness is a title and a name for hire. Tell them what you want them to find. In my opinion, let me always throw speculate and opinion and alleged, and which, like I said, guys, I really don't care, because sometimes the best way to get people under oath is through a lawsuit. and through depositions and through countersuits. And you can get people under oath, and you may find out a whole lot more in a deposition than you could ever find out in a report. That's the truth. And I'm telling you, if I'm lying, I'm dying. We've got attorneys standing by that's chomping at the bit to go at these people for the allegations they've made with no more evidence than they've got. And I wish, it doesn't look like Madison is going to. I hope that Mike's son, Eric Vance, goes after these guys with everything they got. I wish that the politicians there in Tennessee would get behind the Pusser family, the Pusser name, and get to the bottom of this. This could be the biggest travesty of justice that's been done in a long time, and it's not hard to prove. It's not hard, guys. You've got a 70-year-old man, and it's not hard. You can do this. Take this case and run with it, somebody. Thank you all. That's probably going to be it for me, guys.